Never take my sunshine away, sunshine away. Never take my sunshine away, sunshine away. Never take my sunshine away, sunshine away. Never take my. Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to NXT with NaJee. You guys already know what it is. It's a part of the Whip Show, the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, and also a part of BodySlam.net. Welcome back. Welcome back, my friends. This week was a good week. It was our first week back at the PC after them being on the road beforehand, and it's actually a build-up before another huge road show before NXT heads off to Madison Square Garden. Super excited for that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this episode. We have 5 matches. And of course, I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. This time, I went back into my superfan bag. Except this time, it's a little more personal. Because this guest of mine is a good friend of mine who I used to see every single Tuesday in the PC parking lot. One of the nicest ladies you'll ever meet. She would always go out of her way to say hello to me, my friends, and everybody. And she is definitely a full-fledged member of the NXT family. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Miss Lindsey. What's going on, friend?
Hi.
How you doing? How you been?
I'm good. Just got back from church.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Heck yeah. Well, hey, I'm super happy we finally got to make this happen. You've been asking to be on the show for a while. I definitely made you a promise that we would get you in this season, and we made it happen. So tell people a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with NXT, and why you are here today.
So I'm currently a student at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting over at Full Sail. I was trying to get on the volunteer, but they're currently full, so I just started going as a fan. It's one of the closest shows to me. And of course, I watched it since pretty much it started as, with the rookies and the pros and stuff like that.
Heck yeah.
But never got to go until we moved here from Oklahoma.
All right. Well, hey, there's a little dive into the origin story here from Miss Lindsey. Congratulations on getting into Full Sail and, trying to make that whole thing happen for yourself. That's awesome. I wish. But heck yeah. But all right, so we're getting ready to jump right into these matches from this week. Just one more time reminder, NXT will be in New York at Madison Square Garden, so a lot of this episode is built up for that. So first match of the night, great tag team match. We have Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed, aka Fatal Influence, going against Ren and Kendall. It's a lot going on. Ren is there, obviously, with Kendall. Kendall wants to go after JC's title. Now, everything that's been going on the last couple of months has definitely been Fatal Influence versus Rendell and basically the whole rest of the world. But tonight, this is all about Fallon and Lainey trying to take care of the opposition for JC before they make their way to Stand and Deliver. And this just isn't it's not fun because they're all so good and you can't really boo anybody in this match because Fatal Influence, yeah, they're the heels here, but Fallon and Lainey are awesome. Like one of my favorite matches of the night. How was this for you? Because you were actually sitting front row at the PC this past Tuesday. So how was this match and how was the energy for this? Because I know the crowd's got to be split right down the middle.
I was split, to tell you the honest truth. I like Ren. I like Kendall. I'm a big Fallon fan. I'm starting to be a Lainey fan. But yeah, I was split. It was a good match. Of course, with JC by Fatal Influence's side. Like you said, this thing has been going on for a while. I think ever since Kendall tried to challenge JC the first time. Yeah. And she's been trying to get back in the hunt. And of course, Ren's been trying to get her own momentum. She won the Speed Championship. And, JC's like, I don't want to do anything until Stand and Deliver. She probably doesn't want to even be at a match and Stand and Deliver, but who knows? It was a really good match. Of course, with Fallon and Lainey keeping Ren to their side, they didn't want her to tag in Kendall, which I do not blame them at all.
For real. That woman is a secret weapon of a wrestler. It's unreal. I do want to point out one thing, though, that I noticed during this match. So Lainey Reed took that back elbow, that spinning back fist or back elbow or whatever it was from Kendall, and it looks almost identical to JC Jane's finisher. But if you notice, Laney kicked out. And that's
Yeah.
something that stuck out a lot to me because that's if I mean, she can kick out of JC's finisher, and that puts Laney on radar for me, like legit. But the way this match ends was actually like quite beautiful to watch on TV. I imagine it was pretty cool to see there too, but it ended up being a double tap out with Kendall actually tapping out Laney technically. But Ren also had the final wrench locked in on Fallon at the same exact time. So it was beautiful thing to see. But with this match ending, Kendall basically feels like she has cemented herself in the number one contender spot for JC's title. But of course, Lola Vice comes out because she did mention at the last show that she also wants her shot at the title. They go back and forth a little bit. And of course, Mr. Rob Stone comes out and drops on us that next week we will have a number one contenders match for the women's championship between Kendall Gray and Lola Vice. I'm excited for this match. I'm curious to see which direction they go because both of the superstars deserve a shot at the goal. How are you feeling about Kendall versus Lola? Who do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with Kendall, to be honest. I'm not a huge Lola fan. She's gotten better, with her time in AAA and everything. But I think, Kendall um Kendall kind of deserves a second chance because she was this close
Mm-hmm.
to beating
Very close.
JC. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kendall.
Yeah, my prediction for this, some sort of disqualification ends up a triple threat. That way Lola can have her shot because Lola has been there a while. I know she's not as big of a fan favorite as she was, say, like a year and a half ago. But I still think she deserves it. Like, I don't want her to leave NXT without winning a title. She's gone undefeated in the underground matches. She's always been a team player. Why not? Why not give Lola a shot? And if the crowd's not feeling it, then it can be a short run. It doesn't have to be a super long run. But triple threat, that's my guess. All right, so now we're gonna move on to match number two. Match number two, we got Miss Thea Hale versus Kalani Jordan. Kalani, literally still being Kalani, heel Kalani, my favorite. How are you feeling about heel Kalani?
I've been a Kalani supporter since the start,
Love it.
especially that her run in TNA. I actually have a sign that says Kalani's not a traitor because everybody was calling
Right.
her a traitor. And this match was hard for me, to be honest. But I'll get to that in a minute. Kalani has always been a top favorite of mine since she started and I started coming. I got to see her in person, so it just gotten a bigger liking of her. If that makes
Mm-hmm.
any sense.
Yeah, it does. Definitely does. Definitely does. She grew on me too. When I first got there, I really didn't know anything about her outside the fact that she went to Michigan State. And me being a Michigan guy, I was like, I don't know. But over a short amount of time, she really grew on me. And actually, like, we became pretty cool and pretty good friends. Like, she follows me on stuff. She's supportive. Great person. I will always support Kalani, no matter what side of the fence she's on. But her opponents in this one is also somebody who's growing on the world. Like, a lot of people are finally starting to embrace Thea Hale. She's got the new look, which I like. I love the new hair, by the way. And she's still got the same attitude and the same fire. And that's basically the best way to start off this match. They both punch after punch after punch, roll over, another punch after punch after punch. You're basically just waiting to see who's going to end up taking over. But in this match, Kalani ends up taking over. When she takes over, she does not let off, like at all. Kalani ends up being the winner of this match, and afterwards, she continues to beat down Thea Hale, like brutally beat her down until Miss Parker comes and saves the day. And of course, Rob Stone does the Rob Stone thing, and we are now blessed with a Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan match in New York next week. I don't know how to feel. I don't know who to root for because I really want Jada to start picking up some wins, but I also don't want Kalani to start taking L's either. So that's a slippery slope. But we will talk about that one on when we get there next week. But I'm curious. I feel like they should add a stipulation to it. Right now, it's just a one-on-one match. I feel like a New York street fight or something like that would be perfect for those two. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Now, this next match is going to be, we're going to talk about this one for a while because it was a long match. There's a lot of things that happened, including a very big surprise at the end that I didn't see coming. That was a very good surprise. But this is the gauntlet match. The gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for the men's North American Championship. There will be 5 participants. Lexus King was supposed to be in this match, but due to an injury that he may or may not have have at the moment, they're basically just trying to make sure he's safe because it was a concussion protocol situation. But replacing Lexus King, we have, I believe it was Charlie Dempsey was the replacement, right? Yeah. So we have Shiloh Hill, Charlie Dempsey, Jackson Drake, a mystery opponent, and Dion Lennox. Those are the participants here. The match starts off with Shiloh at number 1. Apparently, he volunteered for that. Um, Volunteers after helping Tatum find Blake, which was a hilarious promo, but we don't like to talk too much about the promos on here. Let them shine on their own. And then number 2 was Jackson Drake. Wow. Jackson Drake in this match. Like when it was him against Shiloh 1-on-1, great. Dude, like he really shows everybody week in and week out why he's exactly where he is. Why he isn't on Evolve anymore. Why he's being pushed every single week on NXT TV. It's crazy stuff. I'm going to try to just run through the entrance and then we'll kind of talk about the match more. Dion comes in at 3, clears house literally immediately, does exactly what you think he would do. Dempsey enters during the commercial break, which is a weird thing. And then we come back from the I know you didn't see that because you were in the crowd. But like for us at home, it was strange because you just come back from commercial and Charlie's just choking the absolute shit out of Dion. And then, somebody was getting choked out. And the next thing you know, it's like a fatal 4-way of people in a chokehold. It was strange. So everybody is still in the match. Everybody's been holding their own. Shiloh's been working his ass off in this match, but then he gets thrown through a barricade by Dion. And just as we're trying to figure out who this mystery opponent is, Candice comes out. And we find out that it's Johnny Gargano. Now I know I've been yapping for a second. Tell me, how was it there when Johnny Gargano came out and what that did to the match and the environment?
Well, I didn't recognize Candace's voice at first. I hear a woman's voice, and I'm like, and it echoes through that building,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, who is that? And then she comes out, and I was waiting for Johnny's NXT theme. I can't think of it. Something Heart. You gotta help me out
Mm-hmm.
here.
I can't figure out something either.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
But then he came out, and I was like, and we've all seen how he's been the past few weeks. Just not the same Johnny. And he would. It was funny how he would try to get in the match, and then he would get hit, and then he would just lay there like planking,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just, I was like, is he gonna get in the match? What are they trying to work here? Like, I
Yeah.
know he's, but it was interesting to see him in the match. Like when they said it was a mystery opponent, I'm like, okay, who from NXT is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
in this? Are they gonna give it to another one of the Vandy Project, or another one of the Birthright, or just, or I mean, who? I didn't
Yeah.
expect. Roster.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was going to be TNA. That's kind of what I had. I had either a TNA or AAA was my guess. So that did catch me off guard, and it's quite the character to have jump in this match. And the way Candice kind of introduced it is like, we've tried everything except for come home. I think that was beautiful. And now we're gonna start going through these eliminations because good lord, Shiloh Hill MVP of this match. Like he eliminated literally everybody. Like legitimately every single elimination in this except for the last one came from Shiloh Hill, so we really have to just give him some love and the writer some love for believing in him that much to carry that match because that was awesome, dude. Like that's as my brother, I'm so proud of you. But just as it looks like Shiloh's getting ready to win, all he has left to do is take out Johnny. Birthright jumps Shiloh, absolutely takes him out of the match, rolls him into the ring right to Johnny standing in the corner, like kind of pouting still. And Candice just pushes him onto Shiloh and he planks on top of Shiloh, ends up winning the match. And Miles comes out. And for the first time in a very long time, you see the light in Johnny's eyes come back once he realizes oh shoot, like I'm going to stand and deliver. So mission accomplished. Hopefully we get happy Johnny. Hopefully he doesn't blank 90% of the match during the Miles Bourne one. But all in all, great gauntlet match. Who is your MVP? If it was Shiloh, hell yeah. But like, did you have anybody else outside of Shiloh that stood out too?
Not really. Like you said, I'm a Shallow Hill fan. I've been a
Mm.
Shallow Hill fan since LFG. And he was the MVP. The way, like you said, the birthright just came and started beating on him and everything. I'm like, they shouldn't even been out there, but that's here nor there.
Yeah.
Um, it until that last part with Johnny. Like I seriously thought Shiloh was gonna win that, and that would have been really hard for me when it came to stand and deliver.
Mm-hmm. Because man, Shiloh versus Miles would have been like you said, a very tough one to pick. Like, it would have been very tough. But now this is also very tough too because say Johnny wins, now he's back. That's not a bad thing. But what does that do to Miles? That's the real that's like the real big question mark in it. It's like what happens if Miles does lose? Like we know if Miles wins, that's huge for his career because that's Johnny wrestling. So maybe that's what happens. Like I'm rooting for Miles. Don't get me wrong, but maybe that's what's getting ready to happen here. All right, so
Like a push.
congratulations. Yeah, I think so. Congratulations to Mr. Johnny Gargano on becoming the number one contender. Looks like you will be meeting Mr. Miles Bourne at Stand and Deliver. Now, this next match, match number 4, the graphic is going to look different than what the match actually was. So it was supposed to be Elio and Eli versus the Culling for the number one contenders tag team tournament. But a mysterious person took out Eli and Elio. If for those of you who aren't hip, I'm not even going to sit there and put any false information out because I don't know the exact diagnosis. But Elio is in a sling right now for some protection for his shoulder that was injured at a house show. But I don't know the severity. I don't know if he's relinquishing the title, keeping the title. I don't know what the future holds, so don't quote me on any of that stuff. But the replacements in this match for Elio and Eli ended up being Los Americanos with Bravo and Rio. Rio. One of them. I don't know. I always
I
want to
say
say
the same
Raya.
thing.
Yeah. But great match. Even with Sean awkwardly twerking in the middle of it, which was hilarious to see. Um, you can't have a Los Americanos match and expect it not to end controversial. Of course, these two teams are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because that's just what Los Americanos does until they get themselves back in a corner to where a certain member has to put a metal plate in their mask. So after putting a metal plate in their mask, the headbutt happens. And 1, 2, 3, Los Americanos is moving on in the tag team tournament to face Birthright, I believe. And the winner of that next week will go on to stand and deliver for the tag team championship match. So right now, I'd almost be willing to put my money on Birthright winning the whole thing just because they're really trying to push them and whatnot. So that would be my guess. For the tag team tournament, who do you got winning it?
Um, I don't know. I'm not really a Birthright fan. Los Americanos, they're funny.
Yeah.
They're just funny. Um, let's see, Fanny Projects, the tag team champions. I guess I'd have to go with Los Americanos.
Yeah. It could be an entertaining match for sure.
I don't, I don't know if I see them winning. I mean, with them being on Raw, that doesn't mean anything in general. But I don't know. That's kind of hard for me.
Hey, it's all right. That's the fun part about this business. We get to take guesses and then sometimes just get stuck in a guess. It's fine. I love it. All right. But now we're gonna go to the main event. Last match of the night between Mr. Ricky Saints and Tony D'Angelo. Obviously, Ethan Page is out there with Ricky because they are the new step brothers of the WWE, and I love it. I love it. I think the caption that I posted on the picture was, "If you don't love me the way Ethan loves Ricky, then I don't want it." Those are just the facts. But yeah, great match. Really, really good match. I love just these two in a ring together is fantastic because they're really good at what they do. Also, like Tony D, hair down, different beast. I'm noticing that. He takes his hair down, he turns and kicks it into a whole different notch, a whole different level of Tony D. Um, we had a great match on our hands, obviously, until the Ethan Page, Ricky Saints team up happens again mid match. And of course, they end up jumping Tony. I think the original plan here was that they both were going to try to get themselves into the match against Joe without Tony being in it. But of course, as they're fighting, Joe comes out, helps out Tony, but then ends up choke slamming or whatever, standing ovationing Tony, which leaves all four men standing in the ring. And only one match comes to mind, and that is officially a fatal four way for Stand and Deliver. Now, I'm going to talk about this one for a couple minutes before we get to the old questions for you, my friend. Now, I have no idea where they're going to go with this match. All four participants. I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it. I would love to see Ricky as champ again. Would love to see. Would love to see Ethan again. Either way, I really want a heel champion, but I feel like they're going to lean towards Tony. That would be my guess. And I don't see Joe Hendry taking the pin. I could see Ricky getting pinned by Tony. I think that might be the outcome. That's my prediction. How are you feeling about these four participants?
I am a Ricky Saints girl through and through. I haven't really been a big Ethan fan. I'm starting to get it a little bit, but I I've been saying for the past couple weeks that friendship's gonna blow up because they both want the same thing. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen it happen too many times, and maybe it's because I've watched it so long. Like I, I wanted them to generally like be there for each other, but when they're both like, "Well, I want the championship. I want to be two-time champion too." I'm like, "This is gonna blow up."
Oh yeah.
um, I'm not a I'm not a huge Joe Hendry fan. I get it. Um, Tony D without the family has been very interesting. Um, it proves that he can handle himself, which I think he always could have without the support of the family. I kind of wish they'd bring a couple people back, but it is what it is. But I have a top pick, and that's Ricky.
All
I'm
right.
actually wearing the shirt.
Hey, there you go. All right. Well, now that takes care of our recap portion of the show. Thank you guys so much for tapping in. This is now the part where I get to ask my guest three questions. The first question is always going to be the same for the season. That's just like how I like to keep it. And then the next two will be just more of like opinions and your story, like esque. That makes sense. All right. So first question. I love asking this question because I just love hearing other people's, what keeps them here. So what is it that keeps you in love with professional wrestling? Is it the characters? Is it the story, the drama, the unpredictability sometimes? Like what is it that's kept you a wrestling fan for as long as you've been a wrestling fan?
So one of the main things is it's easy for me to follow. Um, being high functioning autistic, it's like my main sport because it's easy for me. But I, when I started watching, it was John Cena, and of course he's retired and doing other things. I guess it'd be the storylines and the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I've always gone for the underdog. Like I've gone for, I don't know if you remember Eugene
Mm-hmm.
with Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, we love some Eugene.
I've gone for Zach Gowen on
Yep.
when he was on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan. It's always been the underdog
I
for
haven't heard
me.
Zach Gowen in forever. Wow. Oh man.
Well, I go back and rewatch Raw and SmackDown. I drive my mom crazy. She's
Oh heck yeah.
but and then I also go for, who, my top favorites. Um right now, I've been a Damian Priest fan, Rhea Ripley, the Usos, the Bloodline, just to name a few. So, yeah.
All right, heck yeah, I love it. I seriously, that's my favorite question to ask people. It's always such a different answer every time, even if like it's say somebody says, "Hey, I love the characters," but there's always a different reason why they love the characters. I love it. All right, so now you have been going to NXT for quite some time. As long as I've been there, you've always been there, and I was there for 2 years, so so I know you've got some more time than me. In that building, what has been your favorite in-person NXT moment that you got to witness?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Um, so when I started coming, Trick was champion the first time.
Oh shoot, so you came after me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
all
I
right, all
started
right.
coming the summer of 24.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm still a Trick Williams fan. Um, that is really hard. Since we're talking about him, this comes to mind. So last year around Stand and Deliver, when it was him, Oba, and Javon, I
Hmm.
had a Trick Williams sign, and he can't. He they were doing a face off, I think, and he comes around, sees the sign, and he's like, "Can I see this for a second?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he went and showed it off, and he was showing it off to Javon and Oba. Javon takes the sign and rips it in half.
I remember.
And they gave it back to me, and then after that was done, Christian came over and he was like, "Hey, do you still have your sign?" I said, "Yeah." He takes it from me, gives it to Mike Rome. Mike Rome takes it to the back. Trick signed both pieces and gave it
Heck
back to
yeah.
me. And when he gave it back, he was like, "Trick says sorry."
What a guy. That's awesome. We love Trick Williams. God, I love that guy. Oh, that's a great story. I love that. I'm glad that happened for you. And you got it back with that autograph. What a moment. What a
I
moment.
also got a beanie hat from him.
Yes. See, that's one thing about that building, man. They take care of you. If you're good people and you treat the wrestlers with respect and you just treat that business with respect, they treat you so good. I miss it.
Yeah.
I miss it so much. All right, last question. All right, for you personally, who do you think right now on the NXT roster is going to be the next, let's say, the next Oba Femi or Jordan Grace in that kind of aspect? If you know what I'm saying, like who do you think is going to be the next people to get called up and be the next big thing?
Um, I'm gonna have to say Ricky. Um, he he has that star power, and I'm not just saying it, being a fan. I'm saying it, just been watching him as long as I have.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, he's probably gonna get called up. I'm gonna say maybe the summer, maybe next year, because they always stay a little bit.
Yeah,
And then I would have to say I would not be surprised if Soul is within the end of the year
I feel that too.
because of because of all like the opportunities she has shown that she can headline a main event on the main roster.
Sorry, I'm trying to plug my computer before it dies mid interview. But yeah,
It's okay.
Soul Rook, I agree with 100% too. I could see that happening, and I think that's why maybe that's why they're trying to slowly shift her towards a heel. I don't know if you guys peeped that in that promo with Zarya. Crowd booed the absolute hell out of Soul. Like, ooh, that switched up so fast. And Soul, I feel like has a very hard time being a heel because you could tell she was struggling trying to be mean. So that's why they're testing her, and I think that's a genius in my brain, anyways, is to like why this is happening. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for jumping on, answering some personal questions, recapping the matches with me, and giving your opinion on the old NXT world. I appreciate it a lot. This is the part where if you want to plug in any of your social media or anything that you follow that maybe you would like other people to follow, this would be the perfect time.
I do have a Facebook, a separate Facebook. It's outside the ring. If anybody would mind giving that a like, I post some of my opinions, some of my like um like who I think is gonna win sometimes, or
Mhm.
just something funny, especially when it comes to Paul Heyman.
Oh, I love that guy. My favorite. He's an
um,
inspiration.
I also have my Instagram. Can't think of it right now. I also have my Twitter is beautiful WWE fan. That's also mostly wrestling related.
Amazing. Heck yeah. Well, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it so much. Hopefully, I can come visit you guys again soon. I had such a blast seeing everybody 2 weeks ago. Hopefully, I'll get to see you guys this summer. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. But thank you so much, Lindsay. Everybody say peace out, Lindsay. All right. Yo, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Shout out to my guest, Lindsay. Awesome conversations, awesome memories. Next week, next week will be our Stand and Deliver preview show, and I'm bringing my brother Fatherless back for a second here. So make sure you guys tune in for that. You definitely won't want to miss it, but you guys already know what it is. It is NXT with NaJee, a part of BodySlam.net. and a part of the Whip Show, the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, follow Body Slam, follow the Whip Show, follow my Twitter, follow all that fun stuff. Until next week, see you.
Never take my sunshine away, sunshine away. Never take my okay, stress. I feel, I just can be revealed. My dollars keep it real. Your lies you can't reveal. You know